Hi friends, today we're going to be looking at our identifying slope quiz, and we're going to start at number 1. Number 1 says a student stands at the lowest point of a ramp. The ramp has a slope of 1/12. Which description best represents the meaning of 1/12 from the student's position? Okay, so A says that it has a vertical rise of 1 foot for every 12 feet of horizontal distance. We know that slope is rise over run. And so our rise here was +1 and our run was 12. Remember, we go up if it's positive and we go to the right if it's positive. And so A would actually be our correct answer for this, okay? 1 foot up, vertical rise for every 12 horizontal distance. Number 2, Table 1 shows a relationship between the distance a runner is from the finish line of a marathon and the amount of time since starting the marathon. So here we have distance from the finish line in miles, and we have time in hours. And I need to determine whether the table represents a linear function, and how do I know that? Well, let's look at our pattern here. We go from 26 to 21. That's a -5 change. Then we go from 21 to 16. That's -5. Then we go from 16 to 11. That's -5. Then we go from 11 to 6. That's -5. Then we go to 6 to 1. That's -5. So what am I doing here? Every time I'm going down by -5, I look at my time in hours. So let's see. 0 to 1, that's +1. 1 to 2, that's +1. 2 to 3, that's +1. 3 to 4, that's +1. 4 to 5, that's +1. So, not +5, +1. So as you can see, our pattern is the same. My slope here would be, my rate of change would be 1 over -5. So yes, this does represent a linear function because the change in distance and time are both constant. Okay, let's look at the back at number 3. It says a graph is given. Choose all the statements that are true about the graphed line. Okay, so I know that a line with a horizontal line has an M, a slope of 0. And we need to choose all the correct statements that are true about the graph line. So A, the line has a rate of change of 0. Well, we already know that I just said rate of change and slope are the same, and we just said that M equals 0, so that's true. B, the line has a rate of change of 3. Well, we just said it has a rate of change of 0, so B cannot be a possibility. C, the change in the y-coordinates of the line is 0. Well, if we look at the y-coordinates, we go from 3 to 3. Do they change? No, so that is true. The change in the y-coordinates of the line is 0. That is true because they stay the same. D, the change in the x-coordinates of the line is 0. Well, that's not true because our x-coordinate here is -2 and our x-coordinate here is 1. So they do not change. E, the vertical change of the line is 0. That is true. Our vertical change is 0 because remember that our rise is our overrun is our slope, and that is 0. So that is true because our slope is 0. And then F, the horizontal change of the line is 0. That is not true. So there we go. A, C, and E. And then the last one, number 4, part A says, what is the rate of change in dollars per month between months 1 and 2? Okay, so I'm going to mark months 1 and 2. Rate of change and slope, remember, are the same thing. So I'm going from this point to this point, and I need to figure out the rate of change in dollars per month. So I go from $40 to $120. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take 120 minus 40 And when I do that, I get 80. So the rate of change in dollars per month between months 1 and 2 is $80. Then for part B, I'm looking for the rate of change between here, months 2, and here, months 5. So I start at 120, and then I'm subtracting because I'm going down 60. And we know that 120 minus 60 is 60. So the rate of change between months 2 and 5 is $60. And the last one says, does the graph represent a proportional relationship? Remember that proportional relationships on a graph must have a straight line. This is not a straight line. So no, because the graph does not represent a straight line.